Hello, everyone. This is Jackie. Thanks for being here today for our deep stretch class. We're going to go ahead and get started by just slowly walking in your space. If you're using a yoga mat, you can walk the length of your yoga mat, a couple steps forward, a couple steps forward in the other direction, turn it around and repeat. Just slowly kind of getting the body rolling. As always, make sure you check in with what's feeling good. And if something's not feeling good, lessen that stretch, lessen that movement, maybe even opt in to find a different muscle group if something is not feeling good. Our first flow is going to be on the floor, legs and just kind of a seated flow, nice and controlled. And then our second flow will be standing up, kind of a mix of arms, as well as full body. So that is our overview for what we have coming up. And always opt in to grab water at any time. I'll always shout out when I'm grabbing water, but options are there. All right, when you are ready, feet can get planted wherever they feel comfortable. My feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. My hands are resting on my hips, toes are pointed forward, and all we're just going to slowly start to do are just some hip circles. So start by pushing out that right hip out towards the right. Both of my legs are pretty straight. If you want to add a little bit slight of a bend, feel free. But with me keeping my hip out to the right, I feel that inside stretch on the inside of that left thigh. And then once I'm ready, I'm going to put both glutes back towards the wall behind me. Chest will have a slight lean forward down towards the floor, just slightly. If you'd like to deepen that hamstring stretch, you can kind of lean that torso, lean that chest down towards the floor. That'll deepen your hamstring or back of the leg stretch.
Hey Jackie, should my back be by the wall?
No, your back doesn't have to be by the wall. Just put your glutes in the direction of the wall behind you.
Okay, I need to move the mat.
Yeah. And then once you're ready, move that left hip out towards the left wall. Again, stretching out the inside of that right thigh. And when you're ready, bring both hips, push them out in front towards the wall in front where the toes are pointing. And then repeat. Just nice slow circles. You can take this at your own pace if you want to hang out at a spot that's really getting into a stretch. Feel free. I'm just going to slowly kind of go hip circles, nice and controlled. Taking some inhales through the nose, exhales through the mouth. I'm going to get some music going. Just let me know if it's too loud or not loud enough. And when you're ready, we're going to change the direction. So start by bringing that left hip out towards the left. Then put both glutes back towards that wall behind you in that direction. And then right hip out towards the right. Hips out in front and repeat. So just changing that circle direction, counterclockwise. And in 3, 2, 1, feel free to bring the feet together. We are going to move into some ankle circles. So if you need something nearby for balance or stability, feel free. I'm going to use the wall behind me just to support my balance a little bit more. When you're ready, extend that right leg long out in front. Let that right foot hover over the floor. Both knees are straight, both legs are straight. And you're slowly gonna do right ankle circles clockwise to start. Standing nice and tall. When you're ready, going counterclockwise. And go ahead, bring that right foot back in. Have that right foot meet that left foot, standing nice and tall. We're gonna switch sides. Left leg gets extended out in front just a little bit, hovers over the floor. And when you're ready, we're gonna do counterclockwise to start on the left foot. When you're ready, changing that direction for clockwise. And when you're ready, left foot can meet that right foot. If you were away from your mat or moved in your space, feel free to make your way back to our starting spot. Next, we have some wrist circles. So I'm just standing nice and tall, feet are at shoulder width apart, arms down by my sides, and I'm just letting both wrists kind of naturally just roll them out in a circle. I'm sticking with one direction first. Doesn't matter which one feels best for you as long as we switch in a little bit. And when you're ready, change that direction of those wrist circles. You can always opt in to have your hands in a light fist, or you can have your palms nice and wide. Whatever is comfortable. And when you're ready, both hands and arms can rest down by the sides of the body. Palms are facing our thighs. We're gonna work on some shoulder rolls. So start by bringing both shoulders up towards the ears and push the shoulders back to that wall behind you. Drop the shoulders down to the floor, wall in front, and repeat. So nice, big, slow, controlled rolls. When you're ready, change in that direction. So going backwards to forward. When you're ready, arms can wiggle or shake out if need be. We are going to move into a couple forward folds with our breath. So my feet are shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward, hands resting down by the sides of the body. Inhale, reach both arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. And let's bring our fingertips down towards the legs, the ankles, the shins, toes, or the mat. When you're ready, stand back nice and tall. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, repeat, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We'll do 2 more. If I'm going too fast at any time, always take your own pace. Inhale, arms up. Forward fold, release. Last one, inhale. And release, forward fold. All right, getting into our first flow now. We're gonna be in a seated forward fold. So feel free to make your way down to the mat, to the floor. Sit on your bottom. Legs extended long out in front. Heels to the floor, toes to the sky. Sitting nice and tall before we get into our forward fold. I have my hands resting on my thighs. That feels comfortable for me. You can always have your hands rest on the floors or the mat if that feels more comfortable. But when you are ready, inhale, slowly start bringing your hands down your legs and hinging at the hips, bringing that chest down towards the legs as well. Exhale, sit up nice and tall, bring those hands back to where they started. And if you have them on the floor, same thing, down the mat, and then back, repeat. We're gonna add some movement. If you do want to hold a stationary stretch, please feel free. If that feels more comfortable. Or if you ever need to bend the knees, kind of pedal the knees out a little bit, feel free if there is too much tension in the back of your legs and your hamstrings. But whenever you're ready, feel free. Inhale, reach down the legs. Exhale, sit nice and tall. I'm going to take an inhale in the seated position for me. And exhale, I'm going to reach down the legs. Changing my breath with some movement here. Inhale, sitting nice and tall. Exhale, fold. We'll do one more. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. When you're ready, bring that torso nice and straight, nice and tall. We're gonna do a seated twist. So left leg can stay as is. Bring that right foot flat to the floor. Your right knee will bend naturally, that's what we want. I'm gonna place my right foot on the outside of my left knee. So we're just pretty much picking up that right leg, dropping it on the outside of that left knee on the floor. So our legs are crossed currently. Right hand gets placed behind the body, flat to the floor. Left elbow gets placed above that right knee. And all we're doing is twisting the torso to the right wall. So adding in some spine movement here. Gonna take some inhales through the nose, exhales through the mouth. When you're ready, elbow can release off that right leg. You can place that left hand back behind the body if you'd like. Then uncross that right leg off that left leg. Let that right leg go long. We're gonna switch feet now. So start by bending in that right knee, that left knee, bring that left foot flat to the floor. And if you'd like, you can sit up nice and tall, help guide that left foot over to the outside of that right knee. Once you feel a good comfortable position with those legs locked, feel free to drop the left hand flat to the floor behind the body. Right elbow gets placed just above that left knee. Twist that torso to face that left wall. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth.
Hey, Jackie, does
Yeah.
the elbow of the right hand go on the outside of the right knee or the inside of the left knee?
It goes right in the middle. You can put it on the left thigh if that feels more
I don't
comfortable
think,
too.
no, I think okay.
Yeah, go ahead, ask.
I think I have it on the inner part of the knee facing your chest, like the knee part of the knee closest. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Like the inside of that left knee?
Yeah, I can only put the elbow there. I can't put it on the other side.
That's okay. Then if you want, you can always keep that right hand flat to the floor or kind of have it hover and just twist your chest to the left.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good question. And when you're ready, release the elbow. You can place that right hand down to the floor, uncross those legs if that feels comfortable. Give yourself a moment in transition if needed. We are going to move into another leg stretch. So start by extending that right leg long, a little out towards the right. That left knee, we're going to bend it into the body, but the bottom of that left foot is going to get placed on the inside of the right thigh. So you have that left knee bent in, bottom of left foot resting on inside right thigh, right leg long. We're going to focus on just stretching this right leg out to start. First option, you can have both hands resting on that right thigh. Slowly bring those hands down the leg. Then bring them back to the top of the thigh and repeat, adding in those breaths. Other option, you can find whatever distance that you want to stretch at. It could be shin, knee, ankle, toes, past the toes. If you want to hold that stretch, you are more than welcome to. So tune in with your body on what is feeling the best. I'm gonna add some movement. I definitely feel a little bit of tension. So we're just gonna be mindful of that. Again, tuning in with that breath. Breath is very important for movement. So strong inhale through the nose, strong exhale through the mouth. When you're ready, bring that torso nice and tall before we switch legs. Then from there, switch that left leg long, bend that right knee in, bottom of right foot is resting on the inside of that left thigh. So just switching legs now. Once you're ready, start by dropping those hands down the legs, finding a spot that feels good. Coming back to a tall seated position or hanging out in that spot. When you're ready, bring that torso nice and tall. We're gonna move into a butterfly. So you can scooch that right leg you can scooch the bottom of that right foot off of that left inner thigh. We're gonna bring that left leg on in for our butterfly. So both bottoms of feet are touching, knees are wide. I'm gonna start by bringing the heels as close to my body as what feels comfortable. The closer you have your heels to your body, the deeper inner hip stretch you'll feel. I have my torso just slightly leaning over the toes just a little bit. My hands are interlaced and they are just kind of cupping my toes. That's what feels comfortable. You can always have your hands placed on the floor, either behind the body, if that suits you. And when you're ready, slowly start pushing away the heels from the body. You can keep it in that straight line. And from there, if you'd like to lean a bit deeper into the stretch, you can. You'll feel the stretch now on the outside of the hips a little bit more. So just check in. Something's too tight or something's not feeling the best, just find a good position to place your heels, your feet.
Are your toes still touching, Jackie?
Yeah, mine are, but I have my
Okay.
hands kind of cupping so that they're just smushed a little.
Okay.
And when you're ready, you can bring that torso nice and tall. Feet are gonna stay where they're at. Hands can get placed behind the body. We're slowly gonna walk the hands back because we are trying to bring our back straight to the floor. So take the time you need to just give some support to the low spine as you drop your back entirely to the floor. It's just a lying butterfly stretch. So opening up the hip a little bit more naturally with some gravity. Hands can get placed on the floor wherever they feel comfortable. If you'd like to play around with the distance and bring the heels closer to the body, or if you want to push the heels a little bit more away, just try to keep the bottom of feet touching as best as possible. When you're ready, feel free to bring both knees up towards the sky, plant both feet flat to the floor. Really think about pushing that low spine into the floor and gonna give our low spine, our low back a little bit of support. So just flat back, take a moment, pause, take some inhales, take some exhales. And when you're ready, we are going to get into a lying or seated figure four. So we'll feel free to pick between the two. We're going to keep right foot as is, right leg as is. I'm going to start by bringing that left knee in towards the chest. Then with my hands, I'm kind of going to place my left hand right above that left knee and right hand on that left shin anywhere, just to help rotate that hip out towards the left. The outside of that left ankle gets placed on that right thigh or just right above that right knee, making a print figure four. Option, if you want to stay in a laying position, First one is where we are currently at right now. Second position is bringing that right foot off the floor completely. You can have both hands reach around that right thigh with that left hand kind of going in between the space of the legs. Right arm is just on the outside of that right leg. Interlace those fingers if that feels comfortable. Bring those legs closer towards the chest. That's the first option for line, or second option for line. From there, our seated figure 4 is just bringing that torso nice and tall. You can place your hands directly behind the body and keeping the legs exactly where they're at. So feel free to pick between the two, our seated figure 4 or a lying figure 4. Definitely tune in on what the body is wanting. And when you're ready, if you have your fingers interlaced or your feet off the floor, feel free to make way to drop that right foot down towards the floor. Or if you are in a seated position, feel free to bring that back to the mat. Once you're ready, we're going to slowly extend that right leg long. Let both legs naturally come long. They're uncrossed now. Nice, comfortable laying position. Arms are down by the sides of the body. Belly is facing the sky. Then when you're ready, left knee gets brought in towards the chest. We're going to do a left leg pull. Both hands can hug that left leg. Fingers can be interlaced and hovering or getting placed right above the shin if that feels comfortable. Right leg is nice and long away from the body, just focusing on that left knee tuck or knee pull. And you can slowly rock that leg side to side. Have the hands kind of guide the legs, or guide that leg, excuse me. Slow rock side to side. Feeling some movement on the inside of hip compared to the outside of hip. And when you're ready, bring this left leg completely over to the right side. Let that left knee drop to the floor on the right side. So right now, I'm kind of laying on that right hip. Left knee is down towards the floor. Left toes are down towards the floor. I'm also kind of on that right shoulder a little bit. That left shoulder is completely off the floor. Just getting a moment, coming back to that low spine here. I have my left hand just resting kind of on that left hip. If you want, you can extend that left leg straight if you'd like, or if you want to keep that left knee bent, totally fine. When you are ready, we're going to return to have a flat back to the floor and bring that left leg long to meet that right leg. Taking an inhale and an exhale. We're going to repeat this flow now on, now on the right leg. So bring both knees Point them to the sky, bend them in, both feet flat to the floor. If you need to take a moment here, push that low spine into the floor as well. Nice flat back. Hands are just resting down by the sides of the body. My palms are facing the floor, but yours can face in whatever direction feels comfortable. And when you're ready, going into that either seated figure four or lying figure four. So start by bringing in that right knee in towards the chest. Right hand places just above that right knee. Left hand places somewhere on the shin. That just helps kind of guide and open that hip up if you need it. Place the outside of that right ankle above that left knee. Again, remembering the options on what we have for our lying four or seated four positions. Taking your inhales and exhales very deeply. And when you're ready, if your hands are interlaced or if your feet are above the floor, feel free to drop both to the floor, to the mat. Then uncross the legs off of each other. Let those legs go long. Nice inhale, exhale. If you were in a seated position, slowly bring that back down to the floor. Going into a right knee tuck or right knee pull. So bring that right knee in towards the chest. Both hands can give that right leg a nice hug. I have my fingers interlaced, resting on my shin. And then tuning in with the breath. And if you'd like, you can add those rocks side to side. Definitely have the hands be what guides the leg. And my rocking is maybe an inch or two to the right, an inch or two to the left. Not going too far, not going too fast. And when you are ready, this is where we bring that right knee up and over that left side of our body. Drop that right knee down towards the floor. On that left side, body will naturally rest on that left hip, on that left shoulder. So find a good position you want to stay in. That right knee can be bent, that right leg can be long. Find a good spot to have your right hand rest somewhere. And when you're ready, uncross that right knee, that right leg off the body. You can bring both feet flat to the floor. You can bring both knees up to the sky. Push that low spine into the floor. Give a little bit of relief and extra support if needed. I have my hands resting down by the sides of my body, palms flat to the floor. From here, if you'd like, before we move into our final transition for this first flow, I'm gonna come off my heels. I'm gonna keep my toes and my balls of my feet balanced. My knees are still bent. We're still in that same position we were just at. I'm just bringing the heels off the floor, dropping the heels to the floor, and then bringing my toes up off the floor. Point the toes to the sky, then dropping the toes, have a flat foot, then repeating, bringing the heels up off the floor, drop the heels, bring the toes up, and repeat. Inhale and exhale. When you're ready, you can wiggle the legs out if you'd like. You can shake them out. We are gonna flip over. So feel free to make your way onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position. We're gonna finish with a child's pose and a downward dog. So once you're ready, in our tabletop, we have our wrists stacked underneath our elbows, elbows stacked underneath our shoulders. Hands are at shoulder width apart, knees down to the floor, toes pointing away from the body towards the wall behind us. And sink those hips back into those heels. Then the arms nice and long, walk them out away from the body. That feels best. Drop that forehead down to the mat, to the floor. Let's hang out here, a couple of recovery breaths. When you're ready, come back to that tabletop position. We're gonna make way into our downward dog. So start by curling those toes, place those toes onto the mat. Then bring those heels up off the floor, straighten out those legs. Body should be making a print letter upside down V. Option, you can pedal the feet out, bend the knee in towards the floor, then straighten it back out. Then switch over to that other leg. Kind of pedaling, getting some relief with the back of the leg stretch if you'd like. And when you're ready, then we're gonna have us walk our hands back down to our feet, slowly getting into a standing position. If you need more time to get to a standing position, take all the time you need. I'm gonna grab a sip of water before we start our final flow. All right. When you are ready, we're gonna slow it down a lot. So start by just finding a nice comfortable position to stand in. We're gonna focus on the neck and the head, a little bit of the traps as well. So start by dropping that right ear down towards that right shoulder. Stretching out the left side of the neck. And when you're ready, drop the back of the head back down to the back of our body. Bring that forehead to the sky. Stretching out the front of our neck. From there, dropping that left ear down to that left shoulder, right side of neck. And if I go too fast, always find your pace. Definitely want to encourage a big inhale, a big exhale before you rotate over to the next one. So when you're ready, tuck that chin into the chest, stretching out the back side of the neck. Excuse me. And repeat. We're gonna do this 2 more times, so take this at your pace. Start with the right ear to the right shoulder. And when you are ready, we are gonna change our clockwise to counterclockwise. So start by dropping that left ear down to that left shoulder. Again, that 2 breath mark, find it, find your groove, take your pace with it. And then from that left ear, left shoulder, we'll drop that back of head to our spine, forehead to sky. And then right ear, right shoulder. Then chin to chest. We'll do this 2 more times, so again, find your pace, stick with it. And when you are ready, we're gonna do 2 full regular motion circles naturally. So right ear, right shoulder, forehead to sky, left ear, left shoulder, chin to chest. And repeat. We'll do three circles, 3 rounds. And then we'll put it counterclockwise, so change the direction, just making our next circle a little bit more organic flow. Amazing. From here, we're gonna do some slow no motions. So keeping that forehead, that neck nice and strong, facing center. And when we're ready, we're gonna just bring our nose, turn the head to face that left wall, then back to center, and then right wall. Adding in those inhales and exhales when you rotate. Nice, slow, controlled, no motion. If you'd like, now you can start by keeping the same no flow, but just go and point to your nose, to your armpit, and then other armpit. Adding in a little bit of a different motion with the neck being turned down a little. And when you're ready, return your neck to a neutral spot. You can give a shoulder roll or 2 if you need it. If you were feeling any tension, kind of go through the traps. Last neck positioning we have are our slow, controlled yes motions. So forehead to sky. And tuck that chin to chest. here, head can return to a neutral spot. If you do need something nearby for balance, feel free. We're gonna go back into some ankle points. So I'm using the wall behind me. I'm gonna extend that right leg long out in front just a little bit. And all I'm gonna focus on is just pointing the toes down towards the floor and then pointing the toes up towards the sky. So some ankle flexion here. And if you at any point feel too much tension, just lessen the ankle that you're either bringing down or bringing up. And when you're ready, return that right foot to meet that left foot. Switching sides now, extend that left leg long, hover over the floor, point the toes to the floor, and point them to the sky. When you're ready, return that left leg to meet that right leg. If you moved off your mat or moved around your space, feel free to return back to where you started. Finishing, we're gonna open our stance, do some wide leg overhead reaches. So my feet are planted to the floor, a little wider than shoulder width apart. Not just a little, but they are wider. Legs are in an upside down print V-shaped position. From here, right hand's resting on right hip, left hand reaches up towards the sky, and when you're ready, slightly do a side bend to the right. I'm gonna keep my chest facing straight on. I'm just dipping kind of that right shoulder down towards the right, finding a good spot to pause, feel that side stretch on that left side. And when you're ready, returning torso back to center, dropping that left arm down, bringing that right arm up, repeating on the other side. Side dip on that left side. Back to center, that torso goes, switching arms, and repeat. So find your pace, add your breaths. Turn that torso, switch arms, and repeat. Do one more for both sides. When you're ready, return that torso back to a neutral spot. Hands rest down by the sides of the body. We're gonna do a couple inhales in the sumo wide, or just not even sumo, in our wide stance. Arms resting down by the sides of the body. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. You can have the forehead reach the sky as well. Exhale, return the arms back down towards the sides of the body. Head can come back to a neutral spot. You can wiggle the hips out side to side if you'd like. On your next inhale, reach arms up, forehead face the sky. And return, arms back down to the sides of the body with that exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. One more, inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Now we're going to bring our feet together. Finishing with 2 inhales and exhales. When you are ready, arms reach up towards that sky, feeling nice and tall, nice and long. Exhale, drop arms back down to the sides of the body, or if you would like to do a forward fold. Next inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. If you need more time to cool down or want to take a moment to pause, feel free. I want to thank you all for joining our deep stretch today.